My name is Joanna, I'm from Denmark. I am here for a couple of months to do a research project with Sifat and Mathilde. I have a background in physiotherapy and a master in public health. And it's going to do, I'm working at the Danish Multiple Sclerosis Registry. And a part of preparing me for the PhD thesis was doing this project with my fellow researchers.
Hi, I'm Sifat. I'm a biostatistician and a research fellow here at CORE. During my master's in applied statistics, I developed interest in disease modeling, which led me to my PhD on understanding the transmission dynamics of dengue fever using advanced statistical methodology. I got awarded my PhD last year from the Australian National University, and then I started postdoctoral position here at the University of Melbourne.
I'm Mathilde. I'm doing my PhD in France about therapeutic strategy in MS. And so my background is a master's degree in mathematics and some working experience in epidemiology research to start my PhD.
And so do you want to talk a little bit about the projects that you're working on, or the project that you're working on?
The project that we're working on is an international collaboration of the Danish Registry, the French Registry, and MS Space. All the registries have done original research comparing two of the bigger drugs for relapse-remitting MS. And the Danish Registry found no difference in clinical efficacy of the drugs, while both the French and the Australian found a superiority to one of the drugs. So what we're doing now is we have replicated the original studies, and now we're merging the data into a pooled data set based on a unified protocol and running various analysis on both the pooled data set and in the 3 different data sets.
Okay. So that obviously sounds like it's quite complicated work. Can you sort of break down how you go about doing that? So obviously it's very complicated, you're not going to be able to explain all of it, but for people who might be listening, what does that sort of involve in terms of looking at all of this big data? What things are you looking at?
I think the major complexity we are having is the difference across the 3 database. So Danish registry and French registry are quite different, and the study they published were quite different from the MS Space paper and the study protocol. So what we are trying to do now is to generate a unified kind of inclusion criteria so that we have similar type of patients in this study, and we can see whether with a better powered study, larger sample size, we can generate a better evidence of the efficacy of the drugs using different statistical methodology. That's I think the most interesting word. The differences.
Probably the easier way of explaining it is there's a lot of different statistical methods, and we're basically looking on whether the choice of protocol for including patients across wherever you're from and kind of statistics you choose to run on your project, whether that is causing the difference in results.
Okay.
So that would probably be the short explanation to the complexities of what we're doing.
Yeah. And so obviously down the track, once the project's done, what are the potential benefits of this for people, I guess, who might be living with MS?
So we will be able to generate more evidence for the right choice of the treatment before it gets too late. So if we can say, for example, that natalizumab is more efficient than fingolimod for the escalation therapy, then the clinicians can choose natalizumab at the beginning of the escalation therapy instead of doing fingolimod and then go back to natalizumab. I think it will make the clinical choice more efficient.
Which I guess is really important now that we're getting more and more evidence that suggests the sooner people can get on an effective therapy, the better their long-term outcomes. So obviously really important research that you're doing. Why Melbourne? Why Core? Why is Core a good place to be doing this project? It's obviously great to be able to have such a big worldwide collaboration. What about Core makes it such a useful place to do it?
I guess it's for MS-Base. MS-Base is here, it's the international database, so it was a good choice too. And also, it's Australia.
It's a nice opportunity to come out and see another part of the world. Is this likely to be, so moving forward obviously with these 3 big registries, and you've got a project that we're working on at the moment, but is this likely to continue as collaborations for different projects in the future? Is that the hope?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I know that the Danish Registry, we've had a PhD student here earlier this year, because expanding internationally would benefit the patients, because this disease is the same worldwide. The drugs are the same worldwide, of course, with differences in between countries, but of course it would be beneficial for the patients that people would collaborate, because the more data we have, the more power we have to run the different whatever clinical research you're doing. So hopefully it would be beneficial. That's the aim, at least.
Yeah. And do we have I hate asking this question, having been a researcher myself, but do we have a time frame for when we expect the project to be finished? Judging by the looks on the faces, they're going, why would you ask me this question? just give us long term. It's obviously a really complicated sort of project. So
yeah, we've been getting 2 months to do it.
Okay.
We are supposedly to be done with the analysis at the end of this month. We started 1st of June. So we're in a little bit of a rush.
Yep.
We haven't agreed on a time frame for finishing the 2 articles we're doing, but because we hear all of us, and with regards to all this fuss about data and who can access data and storage and all of this data protection things, we are hoping that we would be able to finish with the analysis before we head back to our own country.
And so is the plan likely to be presenting this data later in the year at ECTRIMS or something? Is that part of the
ECTRIMS this year? It's probably not really feasible.
Okay.
They have already had the deadline. They have another late-ish deadline sometime.
The end of this month.
It's the end of this month, so we're not gonna.
Not this year.
Not this year. But hopefully next year.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for the time today. Sitting down and having a chat about it. It's obviously really interesting research that has huge potential benefits for people living with MS. And we look forward to hearing about the results further down the track when they come out in a couple of months.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.